here we go. Episode 3, No Name Nashville. Alright, so a lot to talk about. I went to a drive-in concert last Friday. No. Can't cancel COVID. We gotta get them bars back out there. Outside of our car. Leave the cars in the parking lot. Let's. I don't know. It was pretty safe. Here are my expectations for it. I tried to keep them really low because I just didn't want to be disappointed. I mean, I will say, like, what was really attractive about, I think, why we ultimately pulled the trigger is because you could bring a cooler in. So it's like, the price it was $150 for where we were at, and you could only bring 4 people in each car, 4 people per car. It was, I will say, it was nice to be back in that atmosphere. But we did pull in, and we were directly behind a tree. So thanks for that, Live Nation. I don't know. Maybe that wasn't a planning factor when they were going through putting this together. There was an entire row of 40, 50-foot trees right in front of the stage. Thankfully, we could see John Party on the screen. So the highlight, really, just somewhere to hang out where live music is happening. That's first. Second, it was a safe environment. Felt very safe. I mean, they had some guy running around with like a backpack full of just mist, and he was just spraying like everything he saw. But yeah, it was safe. And then third, that sweet steel. Steel guitar. Man, there's nothing like steel that's live. It just doesn't do it for me. I mean, I love steel guitar, in recordings, but like there's nothing like it live. So anyways, yeah, we need to get back to normal ASAP. And I know everyone wants to do that, but like we got to get through all this. I don't know, man. I would say, like, if you're on the fence about doing it, about going to a drive-in, don't do it. John Party saw John Party. You could tell he felt like it was weird. So what, it was weird. It was just weird. It was awkward. I mean, he did a great job of like trying to make everyone feel comfortable and have fun. They played for a long time. There was no opening act. It was just him. They just came out and played, which, I was expecting an opening act, but then when there wasn't one, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. That's like, not only is it the band, but all their management, everything that goes along with another act coming, just a lot safer for everyone. Lowers the chance of someone getting infected. All right. So yeah, I mean, it was cool, but I probably wouldn't do it again. Yeah. Also, I found out in some Nashville pop music related news, I found out that one of my favorite Nashville-based pop artists is putting out a song with probably overall one of my least favorite artists right now. None other than Jake, Love Is Like the Tuesdays, Scott. I mean, how are you going to have one of your most streamed songs be Love Is Like the Tuesdays? What? Do girls like that stuff? Like, hey, babe, love is like the pineapples. I mean, if you think about it. And then just like bite your lip. Obviously I don't got anything against Jake Scott, but his voice just makes me feel uncomfortable. So that's on me. but he's putting a song out with Josie Dunn, and I'm going to have to listen to it because, for the culture. But has anyone else had that happen to them? An artist that they don't like, I don't know, that maybe you've blocked on Spotify. Do you know you can do that? I expressed frustration about Jake Scott, and I feel like Spotify heard that and maliciously then started pushing him into just playlists that I was listening to. When it switches to the algorithm, every single time, oh, my playlist ends, next song, Jake Scott. Doesn't matter if I'm listening to this is Nat King Cole, next song, Jake Scott. Didn't make any sense. So, just thoughts and prayers to me on Friday when I've got to listen to that song. Has anyone else had that happen to them where one of their favorite artists does a song with one of their least favorite artists? I mean, I can imagine if Lauren Elena is your least favorite artist, then you're constantly screwed. Because she's featured on literally... I saw a tweet tonight that was oh, Carrie Underwood and Lauren Elena should do a song together. I was like, no. We don't need another Lauren Elena feature. I love Lauren Elena. Let's just hear her for once. All right. I'm gonna address this now, but this will be an ongoing conversation because it's so funny to me. But have you guys heard all the shit that Garth Brooks is getting for being a weirdo? I think I've tracked down the source of this. Now I'm a big fan of podcast, the LA Comedy Network of podcasts. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but there are a lot of Bert Kreischer, if you know him, and Tom Segura and his wife Christina P. and formerly Chris D'Elia before his ass got canceled. But anyways, there's Joe Rogan's part of it. There's an entire network of comedians, and so I'm kind of up on that, and not necessarily Tom Segura all the time, but I listen to podcasts on YouTube, or I watch them. I don't know if anyone else does that, but I watch the clips, and that's kind of what I've been doing with my channel or with this show, whatever this is. But they, Garth Brooks a while back came out with, and I think a lot of people that are woke to what's going on in country music have seen the Garth Brooks Facebook video where he says something, blah, 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 and I like that. And then he'll say something about really weird about connecting on Facebook, and I'm like, I really like that. It's honestly creepier than that. It's so bad. But it started there. They were on his radar, and then, every single time he releases some, if you ever see him talking about Studio G or some live stream that they're gonna do, it's so crazy. It's just what's wrong with Garth? And recently, and then he's got that thing on Netflix now, where he's crying every 5 minutes, getting super emotional, talking about, his favorite brand of, guitar strings. I think they've kind of made it a thing on their podcast, and it's spread like wildfire. If you go to any of his social posts, basically the premise is that Garth Brooks has literal skeletons in his closet, and he's a serial killer. If you aren't up on that, go to any post on his Instagram. Look at the comments. Comment after comment of the families need closure, Garth. Where are the bodies, Garth? It goes on and on. It's so funny. But there's a weird energy around Garth Brooks in country music. He's so powerful. I've never really understood that either. The man streams his music on one digital service provider, I believe. I think it's Amazon. And the 30 Tigers president he doesn't talk about specifically Garth, but whenever an artist mentions just excluding a DSP, he discourages that because it ends up being a customer service issue. You're not meeting your customers at their place of wherever they interact with music, whether that's SoundCloud even, a lot, you can monetize SoundCloud now, but you can on YouTube, make sure it's on YouTube. And the distribution company that we work with, The Orchard, which is Sony's distribution company. But, it becomes a customer service issue when you don't stream your music. And, I can't remember the last time I've listened to a Garth Brooks song. Like, obviously I know Friends in Low Places, and that's really it. I don't know many. He did something about dive bars. I'm up on this stuff. I don't know. Like, how is he still so relevant? I don't get it. Like, it doesn't check out to me. But he is. And he's got a huge and loyal audience. I mean, he can sell any stadium out in like seconds. He's got a huge and loyal audience, and yet he's so creepy on social media. So he doesn't stream all his music, or he doesn't stream his music everywhere. So a lot of people just aren't connecting with it. And he's creepy on social media. How is he still relevant? It doesn't check out. Last of a dying breed. I don't think anyone else will be able to do something like that. I think he's just so rich that he's like one of those guys, like, you ask him what a loaf of bread costs, and he's like, I don't know, $1,000? Just so rich. All right, guys, so I have a theory. That Riley Green was sent from the future to destroy Tim McGraw. I mean, that's the short of it. Do you ever think Tim McGraw is like, damn, I gotta take steroids to keep up with these kids? That's what it takes now? Tim McGraw is gonna release a song. It's just gonna be like, and I wish nobody died. He's just gonna be like trying to out Riley Green. They're the same artist to me. But I do think Riley Green was sent from the future. There's a song that he put out that's like what was one of his early hits, one about Georgia. It's like, it's so monotone at the beginning. He's just like, I got a lyric here. Spring break down in Panama City. It was 2000 and something. I mean, he literally sings it like that. Do you think at the beginning, I mean, wherever he came from, like they wrapped the flesh around his exoskeleton and they gave him a guitar and he started singing. I mean, he went straight to the studio and they were like, Riley, we really want this to work, but you are going to have to sing your songs. You can't monotone rap them. And he was like, bring, bring. And I wish grandpa's never died. You're like, God damn it. Where's my guitar? Bring 3 chords and I wish grandpa's never died. Fuck Tim McGraw. Humble and go fuck yourselves. Tim McGraw's like, fuck, man. I'm gonna have to start taking Shania Twain or Faith Hill out on. Who is he married to? Faith Hill used to be married to the one bald dude, Live Strong, rides a bike guy. I'm so bad with names. I forgot the Queen of England's name the other day on this podcast. And then Faith Hill is married to to Live Strong. And then Shania Twain, wait, I don't know. Maybe Tim McGraw needs to go single. He just announced that. I'm kind of excited to see what he's got coming out. All right, last thing I want to talk about, and this is going to be my longer segment. Let's break down the conversation on genre and country music. This is always a huge conversation. I'm 3 episodes in. I've already hated all over top 40 country music. reflecting on that, but then also, I mean, just kind of always known this. In reality, top 40 country is dying. I don't think it's going to survive. I don't think radio is going to survive. So I think a better question, since country radio isn't going to survive, and with it, the whole country top 40 mechanism, that whole structure, I feel like it's a little outdated, and it's headed for a huge change. So what does that future look like? And I think the big question is, what is the future of rural music, country rural music? I think this is something. So I think one of the reasons I wanted to talk about this is because like some of the country songs that I've been listening to recently have really grappled with this, and I've got two examples right here. The song's called "The Country Doesn't Sound the Same," and it's by John Bowman. He's talking about. Well, here's the lyric: country music, he's referring to, took you to a place deep inside or up above. That's pretty much what it was grounded in, like deep reflection, or had a spiritual essence to it. But then, I mean, he goes on to talk about how when he says the country doesn't sound the same, it's almost like a play on words, like the country music doesn't sound, but also the country is changed a lot. People are fleeing to cities. Rural America, I mean, could do more with less people. They've got all these crazy machines, and small cities are getting smaller. Some are disappearing. Hill Country is one of my favorite bands. Also Luke Combs. Also Codename Aiden's. Codename Aiden put you guys onto Hill Country way before Luke Combs. A whole 7 days. Y'all didn't listen. The Eagle by Hill Country, one of the lyrics goes, "When your hometown don't feel like home now." ... He goes on to say, "Does an eagle feel when he's flying that his way of life or way of living is dying?" So, I mean, in both of the songs, there's questioning, is the country, rural way of life, is it dying? I think like a consistent theme over the last couple of decades is, not only do like rural people, farm people, country people feel like their way of life is dying, but they also feel like their message is being suppressed. That's my biggest problem with country radio, is that you get these top 40 guys on there, like Luke Bryan, who's run 25 songs up to run number one. And, well, he does sing songs based on, I believe, I'm from California, so what do I know? But what I assume are rural themes. I think most of top 40 country is completely detached from what makes country music special. I mean, John Bowman in The Country Doesn't Sound the Same. Country music took you to a place deep inside or up above. I've always believed that, and I think one of the reasons I have gravitated towards country music, as a kid that grew up in California, I'm a city kid, man, through and through. But then joined the military and was exposed to it through that, and then, grew a lot as a man. And I think the reason I've gravitated, and I think a lot of military people gravitate towards country music, is because rural people and country music are very grounded and rooted in reality. And they sing songs, they're real life stories or they're real life topics. I think that's one of the biggest, moving forward, I feel like that's going to kind of be a huge delineation in music, is music that's rooted and grounded in reality, or music that sort of sells you a dream. And I feel like a lot of top 40 country, it's all about boozing and girls with tight jeans on and slide on over girl and just getting laid and having a good time and like pining for that sort of lifestyle. Those moments come and go, but what you're really left with for most of your life is sometimes, life is hard, and dealing with that somehow, like processing that. That's why I feel like country music has been so important to me, is because it's allowed me to like process really serious things in my life. And that's where I've connected on like, not to get too woo-saw with this, but like on a spiritual level, I've connected. Another guy that's just been awesome for me recently, Larry Fleet, Where I Find God. It's just where I'm at spiritually as a believer, as a Christian, like it just really speaks to me. And I need that music in my life. So how do we move forward promoting that? Something that's been really interesting to me recently, I'll say this. You shouldn't come to Nashville to be a country artist. I think what makes Nashville special is the songwriting community. If you want to be a good songwriter, come to Nashville. All the best songwriters are here. I think even LA and New York have seen that. You see Julia Michaels out here. You see producers like Diplo out here. You see, Sarah Aarons, who's a huge songwriter in pop. She wrote The Middle by Zedd that Maren Morris was on, and then went on to write a ton of Maren Morris's latest album. Songwriters are starting to see that what's made, I think, country music special is that it's grounded in reality and it tells real stories. And you can put pop production to that. Yeah, I wouldn't come to Nashville to be a country music artist. I think to be a country music artist, you're sonically going to be different. If you look at the Americana Appalachian artists like Jason Isbell or American Aquarium, these guys, like, they have a certain tone to them. There's a sonic difference, and it's a local sound. Look at Texas. Texas country has its like own chart, its own touring schedules, its own festivals. Like, Texas country is taking off on a life of its own, and obviously, like, Texas is Texas, and those types of things happen in Texas, as we all know. But if I was a country artist, I would stay local. I would stay where I'm at. Tell the story. That's going back to the very beginning of country music. That's what the Carter family did. They went around, grabbed stories up, grabbed local tunes and songs that had been written, and they brought them and they recorded them. And they pushed them out over radio. So start doing that. Start building an audience locally. Stay true to the sound. That's what's so frustrating about top 40 country is that there's all these guys up there sing. Half these guys are from or grew up or they're from a big city, or a ton of them are from like Nashville. They grew up here. Nashville is one of the fastest growing cities in the country. So they're up there singing about a life that they just don't live. It's completely inauthentic. So I think like moving forward, like that's what's going to be important, and that's what people are going to want is authenticity. One of the cool things about 30 Tigers is that I feel like the artists always, we allow them to market themselves authentically. Sometimes artists don't want to do press. They don't want to do interviews. So we work with their team to find a way around that, to figure out a way to market the music authentically. So I don't know. I think some cool things moving forward. In summary, don't come to Nashville to be a country artist. I think what makes Nashville special is the songwriting culture. I think there's some cool things happening in Nashville. There's like this radio station that they have at the Topgolf called Young Country or Yoko 96.7. They take a modern approach to it, where they take a modern approach where they stream online and they promote heavily online, and they partner more as a brand online than, and I think like ultimately make money more as a brand than necessarily maybe getting promotion dollars or getting traditional radio advertisement. But they brand themselves as genreless radio. So they just celebrate local music. I think moving forward, genreless everything is you can't really keep kids from finding music now. Like, they're going to find what they want. And what's important is that it's authentic and it's true to who that artist is. Pushing this top 40 country nonsense that just isn't real country, that isn't grounded in reality, and that isn't sonically country, is just not going to last, because kids can find the music that speaks to them now. All right, that's all I got for this week. Talk to you later. Bye.